Welcome to Food Fight Friday at the Aid Station, a live podcast where Adam Lee of Community Trail Running and myself, Jason Bahamundi of Run Try Bike, will discuss 3 food choices that we have to either eat at the aid station, throw away, or carry with us to eat on the move. Enjoy the show and the laughs that are sure to follow. Thank you for joining us. Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to have you back.
Happy Friday, Jason. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm kind of scared. I mentioned this on Threads earlier today. I know 3 Canadian foods: poutine, Canadian bacon, and maple syrup. So I can't imagine you're going to be throwing those at me. For those of you that are just joining us, we are going to be playing the Fuck, Marry, Kill version of being at an aid station. Last week, I presented Adam with 3 food choices: a bowl of sauerkraut, a bowl of baked beans, and a 2-day-old baguette. And he had to choose to eat one, toss one, and carry one. So this week, he gets to turn the tables on me and present 3 food choices to me at this aid station, and I will have to choose to eat one, toss one, or carry one. So, Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can present your 3 food choices to me, and I will try to stifle my laughter and maybe hit the mute button if I need to.
I think you're going to do good. I'm not picking on you too hard here this week, but I'm definitely introducing you to some Canadian stuff, I think. One of them you had to know, of course, it was going to come, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start with your first choice, and we're going to just go normal weather. Maybe we'll get into a hot or cold day after, but normal weather is what we're assuming here, where you're kind of able to digest whatever you want. So it's a smorgasbord of deliciousness. So your first choice.
So this is in Western Canada in the middle of December when it's like 7 degrees out?
What the hell is 7 degrees? That's balmy.
Wait a minute, that's 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Do the math. What is that in Celsius?
We're talking about food, not math, all right? I'm not doing math today. It's not cold. It's not Western Canada.
I'm in. Let's go.
All right. Your first choice is a Nanaimo Bar from
A what?
Labrador City.
What's in this bar?
Okay, so a Nanaimo Bar is actually incredible. It is from a port city on Vancouver Island called Nanaimo, but the Nanaimo Bar is a dessert that requires no baking. It's named after the city, and it consists of 3 layers: a wafer, nut, walnuts, almonds, or pecans, and coconut crumb base, custard icing in the middle, and a layer of chocolate ganache on top.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
That's option 1. Option 2 is candied salmon, but from Saskatchewan.
Oh, wait, is that special?
Well, if you're going to get salmon in Canada, it's probably not going to come from Saskatchewan, as it's a landlocked province. There are, in fact, salmon in Saskatchewan, but I don't think it's the ones you find in the seafood markets. And finally, your third choice is what you were waiting for. It's poutine, but it's anywhere that uses grated cheese, because what the hell is that? It's not a real fucking poutine, I'll tell you that much, but they put it on the menu as though it is. So that's your choice. You got Nanaimo Bars from Labrador City, candied salmon from Saskatchewan, or poutine from anywhere that uses grated cheese.
See, right about now is when we need a sponsor so I could play their video to really think about this answer. Hey, advertisers, if you're out there, we get plenty of engagement on the show. Sponsor us so we can think about the answer here.
Right? Isn't this a great segment?
I mean, the first reaction is you got to get rid of the salmon because it's a landlocked state. It reminds me of when I lived in Phoenix and in Dallas, and they were like, there's great sushi here. I'm like, where? Like, there's no water around here. What are you talking about? Like, why would you eat sushi here?
Chicken teriyaki sushi, right? Sushi, right?
Yeah. Or they bring up tilapia. You can have tilapia. I'm like, no. I'm throwing away the salmon. I have to toss it. Like, landlocked seafood is definitely not a thing to enjoy. The poutine, right? So you got gravy. It's going to get messy.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, gravy may cause you to run into the woods halfway between this aid station and the next one, too. And then what's the name of the bar again?
Nanaimo.
The Nanaimo Bar sounds awesome, but it can melt. And so by the time you go to eat it, right, because it's covered in ganache, by the time you go to eat it, it's gonna be a mess. You might be wearing most of it. All right, so that's it. I'm going to do this. Salmon gets thrown in the garbage immediately. Like that's not even a thought process. I'm eating the poutine at the aid station. I mean, French fries, you get some carbs, you get some protein in the cheese, you know. And if it causes me to have to poop in the woods, well, I'm on a trail run, so that's just part of the deal. And then I'll carry the chocolate with me, hoping that it doesn't melt on the way there. Because here's the other thing: like with poutine, it's a bowl of poutine. Like, how are you supposed to run and trek or that's a bowl of poutine? How are you going to carry it at the same time? It's kind of like the baked beans and the
Yeah,
sauerkraut.
exactly.
I love how ridiculously scientific we get with these absurd food choices.
Well, that's the fun of it all, though, right?
Like I remember I was pacing Allie Miller up Leadville, up Hope Pass, and I had given her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at the 50-mile mark to carry up Hope Pass, and we were going 30-minute miles, right? So it's steep, it's 2 miles, it's an hour up, and she has the peanut butter jelly in her hand while holding onto the trekking pole, and you could just see like the jelly dripping on her hand and everything sliding everywhere. And now I'm envisioning like poutine. Like, how would you carry this, right? Would you like try to get a Ziploc bag and put it in there to carry it and go up and over Hope Pass? Better to just eat it now, get it out of the way, enjoy it. And if you're going up and over Hope Pass and you got to poop, well, then you just got to poop. And then at least you'll have the celebration of the bar when you get to the top.
Yeah, a bar at the top sounds awesome. Hey, are you a poutine fan?
When I used to eat meat and more cheese than I do, I have a lactose intolerance. So I do eat cheese, but man, the next day is rough, which is why I had to contemplate harder than most people about whether or not poutine was going to be my eat it now
That
choice.
is a bold choice, then.
Because I know what's going to happen. Like there's no way that it's not happening for me. So it's like, do you take it? Which is also kind of why I was like, well, what if I just throw it out? Then I don't have to deal with that. But then the idea of eating landlocked salmon is easily going to cause me to have to go into the woods anyway, right? So I might as well enjoy the food if I'm gonna have to poop it out right away.
100%. If you ever get the chance to try candied salmon, though, it is fantastic. It's what is it? There's like sugar, maple syrup, salt, and it's kind of like smoked salmon, like in that way, but it's done with like a candy taste. It's so sweet and such a sweet, delicious like treat. But yeah, salmon from Saskatchewan has alliteration, so that's why it gets in there. And then yeah, here's some fish from a landlocked province, by the way, province.
I'm gonna have to ask Phaedra Kennedy, who's out on the eastern side of the country in the Toronto area, to answer these questions too about which of the three Canadian food choices what she would do with them, eat them, toss them, or carry them for the future. As we need to get our Canadian audience to chime in on this. What would have been your choice? What would you have done?
Ooh, yeah. So I think I would probably actually eat the Nanaimo bars, carry the salmon, and chuck the poutine because that doesn't have fucking cheese curds. So get out of here. That's garbage.
You need that squeak. Cheese curds have that
Yeah,
squeak.
100%. And you motherfuckers, you put that on the recipe or on the menu, and it says poutine, and then it comes out with shredded cheese. No, it's not fair to anyone.
Are you a traditionalist by nature then? So like the other day, somebody mentioned, gosh, I forget what food it was. And I was like, no, you just don't make it any other way. Like stop fucking around with things. Just leave it alone.
I can 100% be a traditionalist, but at the same time, there are things sometimes when you try, you're like, oh, actually, that was pretty darn good. There's a place here in Vancouver, I'm talking about poutine and how it should be one certain way, but they make this lobster poutine that has like a giant lobster claw on it and like um, bechamel sauce and like it's insane. And I would have never thought that I would like something like that as much as I do. And anytime I take anyone there, I'm like, you have to eat this poutine. It's insane.
As long as it doesn't come from landlocked lobsters, we're in.
Exactly. You don't want to know.
Although the folks in New Orleans would tell you, right, crawfish are basically, landlocked lobsters that they dig out of the mud anyway. So maybe they could substitute that.
Right, and I haven't tried it, to be fair. So I guess maybe I shouldn't shit on it.
Well, dude, thank you so much for joining me again. We'll probably come back in, I think 2 weeks is what we're looking at for the next time we do Food Fight Friday at the aid station. But for those of you that are listening, there will be the regular Food Fight Friday that I do next week as well. Adam, thank you so much for the laughs, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Jason.
Have a good one.